Oof. Oof. I think we got it. I think we got it first try. That is impressive. I haven't managed that yet. Alright. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the letter. I am ready for some horror. Hopefully we got another ghost ego. It's pointless to mull over these things right now.
Okay, Isabella. Time to get that mansion sold.
Okay, let's get the mansion sold. Unfortunately, before I can take a single step away from my phone, it rings again. No doubt Mama forgot to say something.
Mama? Did you forget anything?
Excuse you? I'm too young to be your mom. Are you still sleeping? Hold on, never mind that. Get yourself in the office. Hurry!
Office? What about the open house? Oh no. Is it Sir John? Did he hear about yesterday? Am I in trouble? Oh god, oh god, oh god! I'm gonna get yelled at, aren't I? What do I do? I'll buy you an extra box of donuts if...
No, it's nothing like that. Will you calm down? Get yourself here, all right? I'll tell you everything then.
It's a telltale din of several feet shuffling against the wooden flooring and an indistinct yelling in the background before Rose cuts the connection. That isn't in any way comforting, but it's reason enough for me to hastily discard my phone and finish my shower in record time. I make it to our office within 20 minutes of leaving my apartment, completely disheveled and out of breath. A feat if I take into account my usual travel time. Routine clamor, common to Briar Realty's Corporation's Luxburn office, greets me as soon as my foot crosses the threshold. Papers rustling, telephones ringing at sporadic intervals, agents talking at varying volumes, staff moving about, and...
Where the hell is C? Where are my employees? What the actual fuck, guys? Of all the times to disappear without notice!
Boss's words turn muffled as someone closes the door to his office, likely the work of our HR manager. Throughout the past weeks, he's been in a bad mood over a few employees who have failed to report to work. You hear they're still trying to get a hold of them, but to no avail. The result is half their workload has been shifted to all available staff so as not to lose clients. Not that I mind the extra work, if anything it means I have more to send to my family back home, although the rumors of a branch closure circulating because of this indeed a bit worrisome. My bag barely touches the top of my table when Rose pulls me aside.
Here, I need you to help me with these papers. If you could also get these signed and photocopied before lunch today, that would be great.
One after another, she thrusts a bunch of paperwork in my hands without explanation. A page flutters away from the top of the pile and I lean down to pick it up, my eyes scanning it as I straighten. A purchase and sale agreement. Gestures her thumb in the direction of our visitor lounge while I tilt my head in question. There, seated on the sofa and looking completely out of place in the humbly decorated room, is the same couple from the day before, the Wrights. Something bubbles in my throat. Their presence in the office can mean only
They're
one
buying
thing.
it? We got a deal?
She swats my hand, tugging her sleeve, although her eyes are alight with something akin to joy. She wants the sale to happen as much as I do, and now that it's here, the deal needs to be closed. Yet documents need to be signed still, but the elation is there, along with a foreboding feeling I can't quite...
I had to do a little damage control, but they're already interested in acquiring the property, even before they attended the open house. I mean, isn't it obvious? They already hired an interior designer. I've never seen a buyer as aggressive as Madam Wright. She didn't even try to negotiate a lower rate.
One at a time, Rose. I can't process everything you're saying at once. What do you mean?
They're paying 15% higher than the listing price, as long as we get the paperwork done as soon as possible. I think if we allow it, they'll be paying up front, too.
Even with that urban legend? Oh, I was so sure we lost the sale after yesterday.
Don't look so surprised. We still have to conduct some last few checks before we completely hand it over to them.
Please. I'll happily do the paperwork duty, Rose. I'll even go to the land registry myself and make sure the property changes hands with every single legal blessing.
Don't they have better things to spend money on? I'd haggle it down to the lowest possible price if I were in their place, especially with the stories attached to it, now that my opinion matters one bit here. We're just the agents who are going to receive the hefty commission after all, nothing more. Rose gives me a pat on the shoulder, signaling she's heading back to them, and an unspoken instruction for me to follow after I'm done. It doesn't take me long to finish what work she left me. In fact, having our boss sign the agreement is the easiest, since it put him in a better mood to the entire office's relief. Ma'am Hannah calls me over the moment she notices my presence at the lounge door. Her lips are twisted in a frown. She doesn't seem particularly happy to see me, and I'm not surprised. Oh, I was so confused. The butterfly up in the corner on the book, that's butterfly effect. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot, I should have known that. Lips so twisted and frown, not happy to see me. Who wouldn't be? I almost created a scene. Mr. Wright, however.
Why, if it isn't the little Lily? I trust you're feeling well now.
It's Isabella, sir, not Lily. I appreciate your concern. I'm feeling better now.
I really don't understand why they can't get my name right. It's a fairly common name. It shouldn't be too hard to remember. Regardless, I hand him their copy of the agreement.
I believe I can take that. Thank you very much.
Okay. With how elegantly she plucks the paper off my hands, it's easy to think there isn't any trace of irritation in her. But it is there, radiating in her stiff stance and the way she's standing at a fair distance from her husband and how the two look to be ignoring each other. Seeing this scene, it soon becomes clear to me that I'm not the one who has put her in a bad mood. Did they fight? Most probably. I've seen it happen dozens of times with my previous clients. It's a shame, especially with their new mansion. I never did like it when my own mama and papa fight. I hope they'll make up soon. Apparently satisfied with what she's seen, Ma'am Hannah claps her hands together before extending it for us to shake. Rose and I release the breath we've been holding, both of us more than happy to return the gesture.
That settles it then? Are you really sure about this property, ma'am? We could easily find you a bigger one among our current listings. Something with a modern touch?
Something not haunted, perhaps? Rose shoots me a warning glance that clearly says, don't make a scene, we're almost there.
Of course, why wouldn't I be? The house is absolutely perfect, isn't it, darling?
A helipad would still be a nice addition.
Yes, well, we'll get there eventually, love. As I was saying, if your partner had the documents yesterday, we would have bought it right there immediately. Shame she didn't have it.
Well, there's still a few necessary documents we need you to sign after, but we'll let you know once we have those finalized. We'll be handling the process for the rest, so don't worry about it, ma'am.
Within a week, I hope. We still have a housewarming party to plan after all. You know how much thought should be put into those things.
Yes,
There are
those
servants for that, darling.
Love, servants or not, you're going to make people listen to your input nonetheless.
No more than a week, ma'am. Barring unexpected delay, of course. You can leave it to us.
Excellent. Well then, I'll leave you two to it. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. Oh, and before we forget...
She discreetly folds something into both our hands and winks, a finger raised to her lips, demanding silence.
What happened the day before was quite unfortunate. But you did get us what we wanted in the
She's
end.
wearing a different outfit. Well, let me just point that out, I believe.
That, at the very least, is commendable.
But this is... Ma'am, I can't accept this.
Don't you worry, darling. It's a small thing coming from us. Consider this your bonus for a job well done.
Oh no, it's the same outfit, it's just shown from a different angle.
Oh, before I forget, my lovely interior designer would appreciate it if you hand her a copy of the floor plan as soon as possible. She's dying to work on the house. You can do that, yes?
Yeah, she's the Irish
Yes,
one, just
Certainly,
remember.
ma'am. We'll have it
Yeah,
processed
I
as soon as
just
possible.
remembered. She's the Irish, lads. I'm not going
I
to do
knew
that
I could count on you,
for the rest of the
lovelies.
episode.
I hope to see you two soon so we can get this closed.
Transaction over and done with. My mind's still reeling after they've left. Other agents would kill to have clients like them. Part of me feels lucky about the fact no lengthy negotiations, no sudden change of mind, just talk signatures, a few handshakes here and there, and we're done. The other part, a second ago we sold a haunted property to 2 innocent clients. Sure, the commission's big enough to continue funding Papa's treatment and hospitalization, big enough to pay for all 4 of my younger siblings' schooling. Heck, it'll keep me away from instant noodle diet for months. I don't have to go back to the mansion as well once the deal's been closed, much to my sanity's relief. But knowing something's in there, and we gave it to the good couple despite that, Oh, Isabella, the things you do to sell a house and get money, Papa won't be happy with that. At least I have good news to tell the next time I call home. The little lie I told Mama this morning is
Well, there's something. So how does it feel?
How does what feel?
Your first big multi-million-pound sale, silly.
Pull my socks up.
I know you've been with us for years, but this has got to be memorable for you.
You gotta get serious now. Socks are coming up. Memorable is an understatement, Rose.
Come on, show some enthusiasm. They gave us a bonus, too. Aside from the commission and the other bonus boss promised. What are you gonna do with it?
I don't know. Send it home, probably?
All of it?
Not everything, of course. Most of it. I'll leave some for my living expenses.
Listen here, Isabella. I'll teach you something I should have told you before.
She slings an arm over my shoulder and leans in close to my ear as though she's about to share a big secret. Don't go out to drink.
It's okay to celebrate from time to time.
Celebrating is a bad plan.
I don't get it.
It's simple. Go out, do something for yourself. Throw a party and treat your friends to free food.
See, what's weird to me is Rose disappears, clearly, after this. She's such a big part of this first act, but she completely disappears from the story after this, because otherwise she'd be in here with relationships. But Marianne, I feel like Marianne takes her spot. You have Hannah and Luke, who are obviously themselves. You have Ash, Becca, and Zachary, who are the trio, and Marianne is the odd one out, like Rose is the odd one out here. So that's going to be interesting, at least.
Didn't you say the last one's some sort of tradition back at home for you?
Treat your friends to free food.
Hello, this is practically a done deal.
Isn't throwing a party a bit excessive?
Your call. I won't say no to an invitation, by the way, in case you really are planning to throw one. A few drinks would be nice too, thank you very much.
I don't think my apartment's big enough for that.
You could always move? Bloody hell, you're working in real
That's where you're
estate.
sending money on.
I think I'll pass. That's too much of an unnecessary expense for me. But I did promise Becca free lunch in case the sale goes well.
You go do that.
The phone! The phone is ringing!
Hold on a sec.
She quickly removes herself from me to answer the phone on her desk. Her tone shifts from playful to professional in the span of a few
Today?
seconds.
Not a problem, ma'am. I could bring you a copy of the contract if...
Must be another client. Nothing surprising there. She's one of BRC's top agents, no matter how modest she appears. Saleswoman through and through. I, on the other hand, have very little knack for it. Of course, I learned eventually I had to. But someone else will, without a doubt, do a better job. Once, though, I'm in a drunken stupor. Rose told me the story of what could have been. Years ago, wide-eyed, young, and brimming with yet-to-be-fulfilled dreams and ambitions, she was a term or two away from a nursing degree. Out of courtesy, I never pressed the matter further, but perhaps it's where the sense of fondness started. A small connection due to one similar experience in our respective lives, a goal we both let pass us because of the circumstances we're in.
I'd be happy to discuss this over tea, ma'am. All right, I'll be there.
New client?
Reassigned. Have you heard from Mark at all?
Not since the first visit to the mansion.
Oh, was he the first guy to visit the mansion?
Why? No news from the HR yet?
Wait a second. Wait a second. There's free pizza at our mess hall tomorrow. Oh, not at our mess hall. At the school shop. I'm not sure why. I had it said free pizza, man. Can you blame me? Ugh.
None at all. Boss thinks he ran away. I doubt it, though. He's too much of a wimp for that. There must be another reason. Who knows? Anyway, I've got to meet this one. I'll see you later.
Catch you on the flip side, Rose. She throws a wave over her shoulder as she rushes out of the office. The lunchtime bell sounds shortly after, followed by the chatter of fellow agents also heading out for a much-needed break. Ordinarily, there's no need for me to go out. But oversleeping didn't allow me the luxury of packing my own lunch today, if one considers taking an instant noodle cup from my pantry packing your lunch. Time to make good on the promise I made to Becca, I suppose. Maybe invite Zach and Ash, too. Yeah, that's a good plan. In the end, only Becca and Zach could come. Ash, on the other hand, couldn't be reached. All of my calls went straight to his voicemail. He's at it again, right here today, gone the next day. Oh well, his loss. We've agreed to meet at a nearby cafe, the same ones I frequent with Becca because it's cheap and they give away free bread around closing time. Quaint, a little old-fashioned, and looks a wee bit out of place amidst the city's tall buildings, but we love it all the same. Starbucks. Starbucks coffee, what does that say? Zarpuccino. Eco Espresso. Zarfe Latte. Bink. Much like its facade, the interior carries an antiquated charm to it. Vintage art pieces and row of shelves boasting an extensive collection of books cover the walls. Would have been nice to hang out here for hours on end, but even on a weekend, the place is still packed with people. Thankfully, Becca and Zach have already found seats and are engaged in some casual chatter when I arrive. It's strange seeing the two of them without Ash accompanying the other. They've never been particularly close. Sure, they talk when they meet, laugh at the same things when there's something funny, but there's distance, the kind born purely out of differing interests. That or Zach's simply afraid of Becca. It's not impossible, and I won't blame him if he is. He might be the tallest in our group, but everyone knows that means nothing against Becca's temper. Even I am a little scared of her.
Zach! Becca!
Well, you seem to be in a better mood today. What happened? I thought for sure you're going to snub us for the better part of the week.
You know I can't stay angry at you guys. I was upset. I still am. But, well, something did happen this morning. Let's order food first, okay?
The waitress comes by to take our order. On a normal day, me and Becca will order a hearty serving of their special vegetarian stovies. Zach will take anything with a good helping of meat, sausages, or potatoes and hey, my kind of guy. Today is a good day, great even. It's not wrong to indulge a little, right?
Today's special. For the three of us.
Even the person jotting down our order looks surprised at today's meal choice. She writes it nevertheless and leaves without a comment. Becca furrows her eyebrows, her mouth halfway open, ready to let loose what's likely a string of reprimands.
Don't worry. It's my treat.
The glare she sends my way reminds me of the one I received from Mama when I punched a kid bullying my younger brother 18 years ago. Naturally, I never did it again after she made me apologize the next day. But Becca's far from being my mom. A small, sheepish grin is enough to turn that frown into a defeated sigh. Food arrives in the middle of a funny story from Zach, putting the rest of the conversation on hold as we are served our order. It isn't anything fancy. Pan-roasted sea bass with citrus-dressed asparagus and a portion of mashed potato on the side, or at least what the daily special on the board says. Never did pay any attention to it whenever I come here, since they price whatever's written way above what I'm willing to spend on food in a single day.
Oh, good. I'm so hungry, I think I'm dying.
You're always hungry.
Hey! Not all the time.
Let me guess. You skipped breakfast again.
Not on purpose. I may have overslept by a few seconds today.
Right then. Stop stalling, Isabella.
That
What's
wasn't
this
a
about?
British stalling. They say stalling, not stalling. Starling. No, they could say starling.
Let us say it, Rebecca. She wouldn't be inviting us out if it wasn't worth hearing out.
Well, we're waiting.
I'm treating you guys to a once-in-a-century thing.
An expectant grin breaks out on my face, except
I'm sorry, say that again.
And this is important because...
Becca only raises an eyebrow at me, while Zach appears like he didn't get the punchline to another lame joke Ash made and is desperately searching for someone to explain it. Ash is not here. Wait, I'm gonna save because I want to see how each of those go.
Okay, let me do that again.
I feel like that lowered Zach. I don't want to do that. I can't do that.
Okay, let me do that
I think
again.
that'll boost. Yeah, that'll boost both of them.
Guess what, guys? I'm paying! I sold the house!
As the news sinks in, their expression goes from sheer bewilderment to utter surprise. That's more like it.
You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. As of today, I'm Maria Isabella Grace Cruz Santos
quite
and
nice.
free from my instant noodle binge.
Seriously?
Hold it, Belle. You sold the house?
Yep.
Which house is this? In Aslam Village? The one with the open house yesterday?
The one and only.
Talented one, what can I say?
Come on, Becca. I know you've got a better memory than that.
Oh. Oh, wow. That's.
She lets out a hum, although she's nodding. She gives the impression of someone who's heard something unbelievable and is still forcing her brain to absorb it. Did you think I wouldn't be able to sell it? Have some faith in me, Becca. Am I not your best friend or what?
You don't believe me?
The words tumble out of my mouth before I could stop them. I've been trying to avoid bringing up yesterday's little spat. Spat. And judging from the looks on their faces, it seems they are too. Me and my stupid mouth.
I'm sure it ain't the way you're thinking, Bella.
No, I do believe you. But don't you think the sale happened a bit too fast? The open house only started yesterday, and now you already have a buyer?
It happens from time to time.
Yeah, but look, I'm happy for you. Just yesterday, you've been really worried where to get money for your dad's new treatment. And now, all of a sudden, you have something. What if the sale doesn't push through, or I don't know, they're a fraud, or they suddenly back out? Isn't it a little too early to celebrate?
Rebecca does have a point, Bella. If you haven't closed the deal yet, there's still a chance they'll go back on it.
They don't seem like it to me. The lady appeared to really want it, and she approached me without even finishing the tour.
Pressured me into it more like, but I'm not going to tell Becca about that. Knowing her, she'd only worry.
And she already hired someone to handle the house's interior design.
You're joking. Who would do that?
The Wrights, apparently. It's actually pretty funny. She's a bit too excited to get the property, she forgot to buy it. At any rate, they've already signed the agreement today, so it's just a matter of time. And don't tell anyone about this, but Ma'am Hannah also gave us something extra.
Something as in.
As in, it's why I can treat you two to a free meal.
I'm more surprised you accepted it.
She didn't really give us a choice in the matter. So don't lose sleep over this, okay? The couple really want the house. If Rose didn't stop them, they'd likely have paid up front for it yesterday. That's despite the legends, too. I even tried to show them the letter. But nope. I want this house, darling. Go take all our money.
You don't really think they believe that, do you? I'm pretty sure for them, those are just rumors as well. No one is that superstitious in this day and age, Belle. Well, there's you.
I was just
Right. You know what? I'll just eat all of these by myself.
begin to gather their plates to my side, the food still untouched. Laugh almost escapes my mouth with the way Zach's expression quickly changes to disappointment. Becca's hand interrupts me just as I'm about to pull her plate closer.
I'm kidding. Don't go all pouty on me again. I'm just concerned you'll get hurt if this doesn't happen. I know how badly you want to close this deal for your papa.
I'm sure he's gonna be fine now, though, with the money. They don't know yet. I think I'll call them tomorrow. Let them know things will be easier. Mama said this morning he's showing progress with the new treatment, too. It's just a matter of time.
I allow myself to smile, genuine and uninhibited. It's strange talking about this with other people, even those who've known you long enough. But today, things simply feel a whole lot lighter with them here. Lunch passes in an enjoyable fashion. A laugh here, a playful jab there, but most of it is spent on catching up and telling stories about whatever's keeping us busy these days. My mic filter's off. Gotta move it. Move the whole mic. Something we couldn't afford to do the day before, taking into account what happened. Even Becca's surprisingly chatty. Is there something in the sea bass we ate? Zach, though, appears less energetic. While he's far from being the life of the party, he's definitely not the type to keep quiet in a conversation with his friends. Apart from a few inputs, he's been silent the entire time. Becca notices...
Are you sure you're not feeling under the weather, Zachary?
Huh? No, I'm okay. No worries, Rebecca.
Doesn't sound okay to me.
It's okay. I might be feeling a little bummed out today, but I'm sure this will pass.
Is it about the reviews this morning?
Pained expression crosses Zach's face, and almost immediately Becca retreats in her inquiry as though the man's look is enough of an answer for her. I look between the two of them. Did I miss something? What happened this morning? Did I stumble on a big secret? This is why I don't like waking up late.
You heard about those, huh?
Sorry, I just happened to check on some sites this morning.
Nah, it's a very sensitive topic in the first place. I should have expected it.
What reviews?
Becca glances at Zach, her emotions unsure, eyes asking for his consent on the matter. Although there's a small desire to keep asking on my part, I don't dare voice it out. With Zach, it's always been better to wait. Let him speak on his own. Becca too, to some extent, although with her explosions of temper are more common. In the end, he simply answers with a shift of his shoulders, gesturing for her to go on with a tilt of his head.
It's his movie.
That doesn't explain anything. Stop dangling the information, Becca!
Zachary, I'm not the one supposed to be telling her about this. It's still your documentary.
Is it something bad?
Not bad per se. You guys don't need to dwell on it much.
Bad? Listen here. I wouldn't trivialize what those bowheads wrote if I were you. They're ruining other people's jobs.
Her eyes just completely changed to angry, and it's very scary. From how her tone rises in anger, it seems like she's the one slighted and not Zach. The snicker escapes me, which I promptly stamp down as soon as she sends me a hard look.
This isn't a laughing matter, Isabella. Some bowbag just insulted him.
Calm down, Rebecca. Those are just reviews, and it happens a lot.
I dinna ken about you two, but calling the entire film an out-and-out drivel, you're better off watching an educational kids' TV show, and worst 1.5 hour of my life, among other things, isn't exactly a critique any decent movie reviewer would say. If you could call that a critique, did we even watch the same film?
Well, maybe I ain't cut out for it. Better stick with my photography or something. If nothing else, this helped me open my eyes to what I can and can't do.
You're giving up.
Documentary.
It was just something experimental I did on my free time anyway. It's no big deal.
But you worked on it for months.
Doesn't look like it matters for those people.
Don't say that!
Why does everybody sound so angry? My palm strikes the table, sending the tableware on top clinking against each other. I didn't even notice when I rose from my seat, but here I am, chest heaving, looking down at him in the same manner a teacher would look at any unruly student. Becca's probably proud. I didn't mean to yell, but there are some things people like Zach aren't supposed to say. How exasperating. You of all people should know.
It's just a review.
Except they're pretty well-known critics.
Why does that matter? They aren't the ones calling the shots on this. Isn't that why they have a committee? Right, Becca?
An amused gleam is in her eyes when I turn to her. What does she find so entertaining here? Help me here. Your friend's about to quit his passion for a petty reason. I haven't read what those people wrote about his work, but a few scathing words shouldn't be enough to discourage someone. I should know. After all, I'm...
Failing means you're playing, Zach. Not that I'm saying it's bad. I've seen it from start to finish, and I know for myself what you created isn't something people should scoff at. I don't know anything about filming or photography. Hell, I don't have an inkling of artistry in me except for those doodles I make for class, but I know what I watched. Look at Isabella. It's not every day you see her all riled up like this.
Everybody's so angry. Whatever I'm about to say gets lost in my tongue as a flush of embarrassment blooms across my face.
It was a heat of the moment thing. And anyway, I'll be very angry with you if you quit. What about the exhibit?
What exhibit?
Classified information.
Even if I bring you your favorite tonight?
Nope, not a chance.
Oh, come on! I thought we aren't supposed to have secrets.
Burst of laughter comes from Zach. Yeah, I still don't like your mouth and the laughter.
Thanks, you too. I might need some time alone to myself for a while. Just to think about things, how I'll go from here, that sort of stuff. Hey, I'm not quitting, Bella. Don't give me that face.
There's no face at all, only a poor imitation of puppy dog eyes, if you could call this one.
Promise?
I'll be damned if I break any promise I make to you guys. Besides, you're right. It's too early to say anything right now. Once night ain't for another week.
Oh, my neck. And that's all the answer I need from him. As sentimental as it sounds, there's fulfillment in knowing another person you know won't take the same path you've walked. It's not like it's over for me, though. I still have time. I could come back. Do my own thing. Do what I really want to do. Surely once Papa recovers, once I'm done with everything. Inside my bag, my phone buzzes unexpectedly, breaking the pleasant afternoon lull. The screen shows Rose.
Hey, Isabel. You at the office?
Ha ha. Very funny, Rose. I'm hanging up.
Don't, I'm kidding. BRC says the floor plan copies are ready for Miss McCullough to pick up.
She She states that as if it already explains everything. Then out of the blue, she launches into a long rant about the awful state of Luxembourg's streets. Luxembourg's, my bad. All of which she's saying in a single breath that I can barely keep up and make out a single word. I stay quiet, if only to avoid becoming the next object of her frustration. She's similar to Becca in that regard.
I'm stuck in horrendous traffic right now. Bloody stupid drivers.
She's finally ran out of things to complain about and stops. What she says next still has none of what I'm hoping to hear from her. Just a quick mumbled plea for me to meet the Wright's interior designer in her stead, and
Anyway, I'll leave it to you. Bye. Thanks.
Classic Rose. She ends the call without even asking for my input. The sky is cloudless and the noontime sun is beating down hard on the hard concrete when we leave the cafe. Let's see, what new do we have? Day after the open house, the Wrights were seen securing the mansion's purchase at Briar Realty Luxburn's office. Parties involved in the transaction were surprised at how fast it went, but agreed it was to be expected when dealing with influential people like the Wrights. Happy over the sale, as Bella Santos treated her friends to lunch. The sky is cloudless and the noontime sun is beating down on the hard concrete when we leave the cafe. It's far from unbearable, but it's enough to put most people in a fickle mood or make them vulnerable to catching something. No wonder we have staff members going AWOL today, not to mention my boss's mercurial moods. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want our usual cloudy weather back. For all the gripes about the unpredictable weather, though, the streets of Luxburn remain consistently busy. Consistently, it was constantly. The hurried tapping of shoes against the pavement and inane chatter coming from the lunchtime crowd filled the humid afternoon air. Small reminder of the things we still have to do, regardless of how much I want to return to the comfort of my bed. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. Back to Briar Realty for me. Zach to a meeting with the magazine publisher featuring luxury houses, and Becca to her lesson plans and books at home. But more than once I catch her sneaking a longing glance over something displayed on a shop window. Did she want to buy something? Maybe I can get it for her for Christmas. I turned my head to the last shop she checked out. A fleeting glimpse. World stills. Oh, saw, dude. She looks at me, eyes hollow, gaze piercing and boring into my very soul, like a set of chains to keep my whole body still. There are no shadows or whispers this time, only a plea, a hum, low and indistinct, compelling me, beckoning me, intent on dragging me into the void beyond the glass. I don't dare move. My heart hammers against my ribs, each beat, every thump screaming at me to look away and make a run for it. But I can't. I couldn't. All of my limbs feel heavy while my own breathing strains in the face of her calls.
Leave me alone.
Her mouth is stretched in a grin, wide and unpleasant. The panic building up in my chest forces me to take a tentative step back. I try not to stare at the decaying flesh, the blood streaming from the gaping wounds on her arm or her nailless fingers. I don't want this, not like this, not after what I want for Papa.
No, stop. Leave me alone.
Her face contorts and she lets out a wail, sharp and utterly unforgiving. The music is fantastic, by the way. Rage. There's only hatred and bitterness, as if the very notion of turning away from her is an offense in itself.
Please! I don't want this!
Before I know it, I'm stumbling backwards, my own throat hoarse from the screams I didn't even notice already coming from my mouth. Back of my feet catches on a loose stone, sending me sprawling on the ground. The resulting pain completely jolts me out of the haze, blurring my mind. For a little while, my surroundings appear unfamiliar until Becca's face swims into my vision. A look of concern is on her face and her hands are gripping my arms tight. Even Zach appears beside himself with worry while he stands behind her, acting as a shield against a small crowd of onlookers already forming around us.
What happened?
Bella, you okay?
My mouth opens and closes, but nothing comes out. The words refuse to form. On impulse, I sneak a swift glance at the display window. She's gone, yet the foreboding feeling hasn't left me. My hands are shaking as I push myself off the ground, my weakened limbs relying solely on reflex and muscle memory. Something icy has made its home in the pit of my stomach. I want to throw up anything to get the wretched sensation out.
You are screaming. Zach, call someone.
No, don't. I'm good. I need to get to the office. Rose, the floor plans. Someone's going to pick it up. I'll see you later.
Careful. Don't stand up yet. Stay put, Isabella. Zach, you watch over her for me. I'll call for someone.
Call Ash. A little timeline updated. After a pleasant lunch with Zachary Steele and Rebecca Gales, Isabella Santos received an urgent phone call from Rose Cooper asking her to meet with the Wright's interior designer. Left with no choice, she hurried back to BRC, but on her way, one of the shops she passed by, a familiar smile greeted her. Gently, I pushed her hands off my shoulders. My knees are still trembling, but I can stand. Leave. Leave me. Stay away. Away. The humidity stifling, everyone's stares are unnerving, and Becca and Zach's concerns are suffocating. I don't want to be here. No more. I break into a run. I wish I hadn't left my bed this morning. Here, with only the occasional drips of water on the sink and the whirring of the fan blades to keep me company, it's easy to fall into a cycle of negative thinking. But even with the clutter to keep me company, the room still feels a whole lot bigger than usual. I hug my knees closer as a group passes by outside. Loud. So loud. If only there was a way to tune everything out, to keep my head from replaying every image, every sound of her screams, her awkward gait as she reaches for me, her bone-chilling smile, her pleas to... Enough. That's enough. A shiver passes over me, though it's not from the hair still hanging damp against my back, nor the draft that enters the room from the windows I've left open. My gaze shifts over to the letter sitting on the coffee table. Its edges flutter innocuously as the wind touches it. Funny how an ordinary-looking piece of paper can bring this much trouble. The impulse to throw it away or rip it to pieces is still there. I can easily do it, but after that, what? Will she leave me? What about those people who have already seen it? Will they be okay? The uncertainty gnaws at me. Knowing that she's real and might also go after the people I care about, I just wish someone would listen, believe me. The abrupt break in silence nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Frowning, I take a look at the clock on my bedside table. It's late. No one usually visits me at this hour, except maybe for Ash or Becca. Or it could be Rose.
Isabella? Are you in there?
It was basically just, it's not Zach. Her tone is tentative, unsure, testing whether I'll respond or not. Any other day, she'll just enter the room after one knock. Today, I think she's trying to be considerate. She knows I'm here and can easily go inside, since I had given her a copy of my key years ago. Purely on her insistence, of course, after she saw the state of my room. The state of you. The state of you. In her own words, I'm like a hurricane passing through the place. I'm gonna stop that. Ever since, she'll drop by from time to time, either to share whatever she's dished up or help me clean. She knocks again, louder this time, albeit with the kind with less urgency. Take that as my cue to answer the door.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey there. Mind if I come in?
She holds out a paper bag to me. From inside, a savory aroma wafts through the air. Chinese food! Making my stomach rumble rather loudly. Becca shoots me a knowing smile before she walks into my apartment like she owns the place. She's gonna clean the whole thing.
I knew you missed dinner. I picked this up on my way home. Thought you'd like one too. And why is it so dark in here? Were you sleeping when I knocked?
I move to turn on the lights myself before she stretches her hand out for the switch.
Not really. I was just thinking.
About? Did you rearrange things again? Where are the plates?
Stuff. The cupboard to your right, top shelf.
Only the clinking of silverware can be heard as a hush fills the room. A sound both familiar and awkward. I can easily answer her previous question to cover for the lack of talk, but from her hurried movements and hesitant tone, I know she'll bring it up sooner. Food is just a ruse to get me to open my mouth. I am unsure if I should be happy or mad that I have someone like Becca who knows me so well. Minutes later, she's pushing a plate into my hands and settles on the sofa opposite my seat at the edge of the bed. She sticks a fork in her own dish, yet does not go beyond shoving the meat and peas around her plate. She would have scolded me by now if I did the same in front of her. Shrugging, I look down at my own food and...
It's pork? Are you sure you want to eat this?
Don't look at me like I'm feeding you poisonous stuff.
I know, but pork? You hate pork.
I don't hate it. I just don't like eating it on a regular basis. I can always burn it off with a few hours of jogging.
I don't hate it, I just don't like eating it. It's Bob.
Why are you being picky about this? You're the one who doesn't even gain weight, no matter how much or whatever you eat.
He has a talent for these things. I do not. Becca is me.
I was just asking. You threw a fit when I used pork in your stovies that one time.
It wasn't a good day to eat that. And what about you? You don't seem to be having a good day either. This afternoon?
She opens the subject with the same finesse as a bulldozer has. I might have laughed if we were talking about something else. I'm almost impressed she used to complain about my own tendency to do that. In the end, Becca simply gives up any pretense of eating and sets her own plate on the side of the table. She leans forward in her seat, my knee is itchy, clasping her hands together in her lap as her expression grows serious. Reminds me of that one time I got sent to the principal's office. I can neither recall when or why, the memory's vague now considering the years since. But I remember squirming in my seat a lot, the agonizing weight and the intense desire to leave the room.
Belle, Isabella, what happened?
I spear a piece of meat and pop it into my mouth. It's good, but the taste doesn't really register. A shame. Becca, sharp as ever, is quick to pick up on this and pushes through with her questions, foregoing her place in the couch to sit beside me. Not that the concern is unwelcome, quite the opposite, actually. Except the expectation that we'd fall into the same cyclical argument is there. I'm turning my computer a bit, because the sun is beating down on my desktop. On my monitor, on my desktop. Yeah, okay, table. We're walking the same city.
About yesterday, during Zach's movie, things didn't end well, and I guess... No, let me rephrase that. I just want to say I'm sorry. We're sorry. We were pretty harsh.
Yes, you were. Was I telling the truth, or what's the point?
I was telling the truth.
That boost Becca more? Did boost her more. What is it that people often say? Words lose their meaning when you keep repeating them. And they do. My voice comes out as a whisper, an earnest plea, but its meaning rings hollow even to my own ears. How long are they going to keep asking me the same thing? How many times do I have to tell them what I've seen before they believe me?
Is this it?
Becca picks up the letter from the table, and for the first time since this exchange started, I look up from my food. She inspects it in the same manner one does with something fragile, holding it with all the care in the world. Her stare lingers on the message printed on it. Something pensive sets in her face as she reads the lines over and over again. I want to stop her, take the paper away from her hands, hide it, but it's too late now, isn't it? It dawns on me now that maybe yesterday's argument was also my fault. Because more than wanting them to believe me, I'm also running away from the guilt, from the idea that I put my own friends in danger, and I'm afraid to do anything about it. I'm a coward.
Sorry, I wasn't able to get a good look at it when Ash was holding it yesterday.
It isn't like it'll make a difference.
Where did you even find this?
The attic.
Attic where? The mansion? You know, this might have a historical significance.
I doubt it. It was on the floor when I saw it.
So a prank then?
It's not a prank! That's the same thing I was telling you yesterday.
It's the same thing.
Then tell me what happened. I can't understand where you're coming from if you keep giving me short-clipped answers. Please?
I fall silent. Becca's far from a person who will believe in such things.
You
Yeah.
really want to hear it?
I tell her everything. From the moment I arrived at the mansion, my search for Rose and what I saw. True to her words, she listens. Not the same way a person hangs onto a storyteller's every word as if it's the only truth in the world, but in a manner of a person who has simply offered to lend an ear to someone who needs it, does. No personal opinions, no long arguments about whether it's the truth or not, just her undivided attention. And it's pleasant to be heard.
Is
that
it the same? This afternoon? When I've never heard you scream like that.
She was there.
She? Who is she? I'm missing a lot of things here, Belle.
Her! The ghost! She's just there, standing, calling for me.
On the streets? I don't...
On the window! Becca, it's her face when she looks at me. It's here, stuck in my head. I can't shake it off. There are voices, shadows asking for help. I don't know how. I don't know what she wants from me. Lord, I don't even know how to help myself right now.
My nose is so itchy. My hands begin to shake. Balling them into fists is all I can do to keep them from moving. She may not be here. I may not be seeing her misshapen face, smiling at me, but the dread remains. I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be left alone with these haunting images again.
I'm sorry. I didn't know this has been bothering you like this.
Why are you apologizing?
Look at you. This isn't the Isabella any other day you'd bounce back. You got what you wanted today. Your dad's gonna be okay. And yet here you are. Zach can tell. I'm sure Ash can as well. I'm probably the only one thinking of selfish reasons the day before.
Where exactly is this coming from, Becca?
She's got a crush on Zach. No, on Ash. I had to change that. don't think she means to say that one aloud, judging by how quick her head snaps up at my question.
Certain things. It's nothing.
She's blushy.
Don't get worked up about it.
Blushy.
Anyhow,
Blushy.
I should go.
Blushy.
Try not to think about it, alright? You need your rest, and I'll be next door if you need me.
My hands move automatically to grab the back of her shirt before she can take a single step away. I have no idea what came over me. Her apartment's next door. I can easily bother her if I need something. She said so herself. However, my trembling hands refuse to budge. I don't want to be alone.
Do you want me to stay?
Can you? Just until I fall asleep?
What are you, 5?
Please? I really, absolutely don't want to be left alone right now. I tried to sleep earlier. Last night, too. I thought a shower would help today, but it's still in my head.
What am I going to do with you?
Oh, these are both so nice.
Thank you, Becca. You can bring your work here if you want.
Wait, what if I load? I don't think it should make that much of a...
You are such a big baby.
There we go. Even more of it.
Move over. I know how we'll fix this.
She motions for me to scoot, and I do so, though not without a scoff. Typical Becca, a teacher through and through, regardless of where she is. Then, without notice, she pulls my head to her lap. I freeze. Slumber party! Slumber party! I freeze.
What are you doing?
Singing you to sleep like the big baby you are. I may not be as good a singer as you are, but I can handle a few tunes.
Stop treating me like a kid. This is completely unnecessary.
It's gonna work, though. That's the funny part. I make an attempt to straighten up, but Becca's persistent. Gently, she pushes my head back.
I'm kidding. Didn't you say this is how your mom used to lull you to
I
sleep?
think,
I just thought you could use something familiar to you.
in my mind, the art for the little portraits in the bottom left corner is much better. And this isn't a criticism of the sprites in the center of the screen with the animations and everything. I get it because of the animations, but the portraits in the bottom left corner are always striking to me. They are extremely well done. Just props to that, and props to the artist for that. I think I love the portraits.
You're not my mom.
May sound like a complaint, but we both know the statement has no ill will attached
How
to
are
it.
they back home? You said they called?
Good. From what Mama told me, EJ won a medal.
Who's EJ again?
The youngest. A bit chubby on the cheeks. I showed you a picture of him once. You said he looks a little like me, especially around the eyes.
She's quiet as I talk, interrupting only to ask your question if there's something she doesn't understand. I tell her of my 4 younger siblings, little troublemakers, all of them, and of my no-good elder brother who almost landed himself in jail a month ago, of my sister who had to move away recently to run from her ever-increasing debts. It's the same old story she's heard countless times, yet every time she asks, every time it's brought up, she listens tirelessly. Becca may not believe me about the ghost, but may have just been listening to keep my fears at bay. But for now, I'm content. Sleep comes easier tonight. Do I get to be Becca next? I wouldn't be surprised. Concerned for her friend, Rebecca Gales visits Isabella's apartment. The two had a heart-to-heart talk as the latter recounted everything that happened during the open house. At her request, Rebecca stayed the night to watch over her. And for the first time in a long time, I dream. Of clear skies, of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets, and of small, cramped dwellings. To an outsider, the sight does not paint a pretty picture. However, this is home to me. October 23rd. Sunday. Another butterfly effect. Morning dawns bright and clear the following day. Although the air still feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather, it's one of those rare weekends when I allow myself to sleep in for the sake of sleeping in. The clock is flashing 9 a.m. when I open my eyes. Becca's already gone, likely to the library. She has a habit of keeping herself busy even on a weekend. She did leave a note on my fridge reminding me to eat, along with a plate of breakfast on the counter. Really? She gets angry when I call her mom, but then she goes ahead and does things like this. I flop back lazily onto my bed. From my window I can hear the world beginning to stir. I should too. There are still papers to organize, documents to sign and hand over tomorrow. Yet just staring at the gloomy white ceiling like this, waking up alone, it's easy to be filled with an irrational need to go back to sleep. Wait, I have to check something. I'm yawning again. So 22nd was yesterday. 23rd is Sunday. I'm guessing this is going to be the last day. Like, after everything's gone down and somebody's just like, And this is the, oh, everybody's alright and everybody was fantastic after everything's over. And we miss this person because Typo made a stupid decision and got them murdered. But this is, for everybody else, it's fine. This is today. So that means the rest of the story goes on over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 more days. That is possibly the most organized visual novel I have ever seen. Oh, I bet as I play as the people, I get to see this. Maybe they all die one by one. Maybe she dies first and then other people die. Maybe that's how this is going to work. But I've got calls to make, people to check on, and good news to deliver. Blindly, I fumble for my phone on the nightstand and dial the number I've been itching to call since yesterday. It rings for a good while. I can already imagine Mama's startled face. She's probably cooking something for dinner right now. Knowing her, she'll turn off the stove first, like she'll always remind me, wash her hands and wipe them thoroughly on her apron before picking up the phone. Small, striking habits I didn't know I'll miss until I've stopped seeing them.
Hello? Santos residence?
Mama, how are you?
Usual pleasantries, questions about how they're doing, how's life going on back home, bits and pieces, although small, helps form a vague picture of things I've missed in my mind. EJ's excited voice resounds from the other end, and I smile to myself.
What about you? Are you eating well?
You asked that a few days ago, but yeah. And, Mama, I've got something to tell you.
Oh no, you're not pregnant, are you?
What? No! Mama, stop making jokes like that.
This is a serious question, Grace. I've been looking at your face note. Who is this Ashton? Are you pregnant?
Who? Ash? No, no, no! Oh, good heavens! It isn't like that! We aren't like that! No one's pregnant, Mama!
Well then stop stalling! You're making me nervous, Grace.
So very like Mama to jump to conclusions like that, and against my better judgment, I laugh. Light and surprisingly easier now that the heavy weight has been lifted. Mom's clicking her tongue on the other end, impatient by the delay. I want to hug her.
Remember the house? We got a buyer yesterday. I'll be able to send a remittance soon.
Even with hundreds of miles separating us right now, the relief, her relief, is palpable. The tired lilt in her voice is still there, but it's fading. Perhaps not now, but maybe in the near future. When Papa's well and distance, this is not a problem.
The buyer gave us a bonus, too. I can send that early while we're waiting to finalize things, because that might take a few days. And then there's...
Grace, stop!
Yes, Mama?
It's okay. Keep it to yourself. You don't have to send everything.
Don't worry. I've got enough here. You taught me how to budget properly, didn't you?
Don't you want to buy something for yourself? Or for your friend? Rebecca, was it?
Rebecca will complain, Mama.
Then tell her it's from me, as thanks for taking care of my stubborn daughter.
You both sound so alike. But I will. Thanks, Mama.
The call goes longer than usual, and when we hang up after goodbyes and I love yous have been said, the day appears brighter in my eyes. There are half-truths and empty promises this time. Light streams through my open windows. The world is fully awake. The last vestiges... I never mess up that word. The last vestiges of sleep has faded from my eyes. Have faded, by the way. Journal is updated. Isabella Santos happily informed her family of a big remittance being sent soon after the Ermengarde Mansion's successful sale. Things were looking up for the Santos family. There's a reason you have the word. There's a reason. There's the word. Maybe a walk is good. I need to visit the grocery too. Come to think of it, wasn't there an art store that opened up recently near the park? ... You can see the reflection in the pool. The cat's name is Beruthiel. Or at least that's what the collar says. It's an odd name to give a cat, in my opinion. But it speaks grace, much like the one that carries it. It shows the way he swishes his tail and his eyes follow my hand's every movement. I'm not sure what he finds fascinating in me, to be honest. I wasn't the very picture of grace when he found me, after all. It was a bad idea carrying 2 bags of newly bought art materials and groceries without help or a sure ride home. In hindsight, perhaps I should have bought all these at the same time. I didn't even make it past the park, and now I'm suffering underneath the glaring afternoon sun, hunched up on a park bench and drenched in sweat, in the company of a cat curiously watching my every movement. I hope it stays where it is. It's just a black cat, but back home they're considered ill omens.
Don't look at me like that! I can act graceful as well if I want to.
Not that I've ever acted graceful in my life, of course. Growing up with rowdy younger brothers and a sister does that. Or maybe it's the opposite. Mama used to call me a little troublemaker before. Well, graceful or not, there's no use moping. A short breather and then I'm off home. Besides, it isn't like the company's bad, even if it's a cat, as long as it doesn't bite or crosses my path.
Well, where's your owner, anyway?
He has one, doesn't he? An owner? Isn't that what the collar's for, isn't it? A bandage is wrapped on one of its paws, though. I wonder what happened to it. Did he run away?
Well, if you don't have one, I won't be able to take you in. My apartment doesn't allow pets. I tried to bring one home before, a cat. Not black, of course. And Rebecca threw a fit before the landlady could.
I take a small packet of sweets from one of the bags beside me and pop it open. As I'm about to put one into my mouth, he meows. My hand stops.
Do you want
No,
one?
he doesn't. Cats can't taste sweet. He doesn't meow again as I'm expecting him to, but I take his unblinking gaze as he yes. I shift the piece to my palm and hold it out to him wearily. He sniffs it once, twice.
Baruthia!
Baruthiel. Like a good, properly trained pet, Baruthiel responds as soon as he's called. I didn't mean to scroll. Recognition comes as soon as my head snaps in the direction of the voice. Miss McCullough's hard to miss, what with her height.
I'm sorry. Did my cat hurt you? Miss Santos, was it? I'm surprised to see you here.
Nice to meet you again, Miss McCullough.
Were you harmed in any way? I'm sorry. Baruthiel's not exactly fond of other people. Even run away from the veterinarian right now.
Oh no, he was just sniffing my hand earlier.
My Baruthiel's a she.
Sorry. My bad. That sounded awfully harsh. She's a she. Aye, she's a she. We're merely two people working different jobs for the same client. Frankly, meetings like this don't happen a lot, and if it does, a simple nodding of the heads is enough. Just... That's not simple. Don't ever do that for a meeting. Talk to her about her cat. Talk to her about her job. I'm going to save. Let's see, if I talk to her about her cat, that boosts her. That lowers her. Oh my gosh. Why is that lowering her? That lowered her a lot.
I'm just curious. About your work.
Cares more about her job than her cat, apparently.
What about it?
What about it? There's something guarded in her expression at the mention of work, but I pushed through without a question.
I just want to know how it is to work on a house like the Ermengarde mansion. Is it hard?
I guess she wasn't expecting a question like that, if the way her eyebrows shot up tells me something.
Because of its age? I wouldn't say it is. It is a challenge, considering the factors me and my team have to sort out. But it's a good project. A breath of fresh air from what I usually work on.
I love the accents.
And I have a good team.
I love the accents.
Those original fittings, though. It might be old, but the architecture is magnificent. I'm sure you've seen the stained glass windows in the foyer. I can already think of so many things I could do with it.
What are your eyes doing? What are your eyes doing? I'm so confused. I think they just folded in on themselves. And the cat's ears just
But of
got
course,
longer.
my team will have to double check for necessary repairs here and there. That's probably for the best. It's easy to break some key elements with a rush restoration job, and who knows what other hidden issues there might be underneath. People can be so careless. I'm sorry, I spoke too much.
No, it's okay. You seem to really love what you're doing.
It's not really like that. I'm just lucky to have found work in an interesting field. Anyway, Baruthiel's due for her visit to the vet. Nice talking to you, Miss Santos. I wish you luck with what you're planning to work on. It seems like a big project, too.
She gestures with her hand towards the bags, the ones filled with stuff I already bought from the art store.
It's a project for a friend, actually.
All the same. Good luck.
She seems like she's in a good mood. Alright, lass. I watch her as she leaves, though she stops shortly before crossing the threshold separating the park from the street. She faces me again. Looks like there's something she's forgotten to say. My accent's slipping. I don't like it too much.
By the way, about the Ermengarde mansion. With my clients, it's the rights. I mean, I hope you don't mind me asking, but has the deal been finalized?
Finalized.
There's still a few papers they need, but the house is more or less theirs now.
Thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Wait, about the mansion.
The letter, the same one oops. I didn't even mean to. Whoever she is, she's asking for help. Someone. I want to tell Miss McCullough that the urban legends aren't just legends anymore. They're real. She's not going to believe me.
Don't mind me. I need to go too. Have a good day, Miss McCullough.
Writing tip for everyone. If you are ever writing and you need some information, if you are doing internal monologues, don't make them stutter. it takes away from the internalness. Yeah, that's a word. From the sense of it being inside somebody's mind. Because they did that once, and I'm still lingering on it. You don't stutter in your mind. Your mind does not stutter. Your mind may think different thoughts rapidly, but it doesn't stutter, so don't make your thoughts stutter. I hastened to pick up all the bags I've left on the bench and ran for as far as my legs can take me. In that moment, what I'm carrying in my hands was far lighter than the overwhelming guilt trying to consume me. Home. I want to go home. Anywhere I won't be reminded of the house, of her. Of my own cowardice. The food tastes less appetizing tonight. A pity. I have new information. While looking after a lost cat, Isabella Santos met the interior designer, Marianne McCullough, by chance. She also happened to be the cat's owner. The two were last seen having a small talk before Isabella abruptly left. That cat has the longest ears of any cat I've ever seen. Actually, that's not true, because sand cats are adorable. And you also have to think of servals who have massive ears. One would think that someone who'd been enjoying on it. Oh, I was trying not to do the accent, and I went to the next line. One would think that someone who'd been on a continuous binge of instant noodles would find a home-cooked meal enjoyable, but it isn't. Hunger isn't what's gnawing at me tonight, neither are my sore muscles. The TV runs loudly in the background, but what it says barely registers in my brain. Someone's dead. There's an accent in that. It's hard when the things you're trying to forget keep returning to the forefront of your mind. It distracts you, eats at you, devours you. I wish this would stop. I wish I wasn't the one who picked it up. I wish it was somebody else.
In other local news, a woman was found dead in her home yesterday evening. Luxbourne police officials are currently investigating the crime scene, but has classified the case as homicide.
One of the girls who... From BRC? BRC? Huh?
The victim, identified as Rose Pamela Cooper, 33 years old, working as a real estate agent.
Rose?
Discovered lying in a pool of blood in her two-bedroom flat with the words "Help me" repeatedly written on the walls.
I got it! Caught it! Caught it! Do. Rose died. I called it. I told you she was no longer going to be in the relationship. Hopefully, I told you it was because she was dead. I'm so good at things. Well, there's no relationship with Rose because she's deceased. Right. I'm an idiot. Ignore me. No. This isn't what I want. This isn't supposed to happen. None of this is supposed to happen. No one's supposed to die. Those are just stories, right? Legends. That's what everyone has kept telling me. And I immediately rushed to the study table and searched my phone. My hand, cold from dread, clings tightly to it as soon as I touch its edges. A piece of folded paper, the letter, lying unassumingly beside it, slips to the floor when I pick up the device, but I pay it no mind. There are more important things. Right now, I need to call her. I was with her. I was just with her not too long ago, and she was okay. No. It isn't Rose, I'm sure of it. I just talked to her, and a sob escapes me as hot tears begin to blur my vision. One after another, they trickle down, weighted by the very same guilt I refuse to admit I've been carrying from the start. The same ones I've been hiding from, the same one that's put the people I care about in danger. My hands shake as I navigate to Rose's number on my contacts list. She'll answer, right? That's what she always does. She'll pick it up, tell me to turn down the waterworks, and call me a wuss afterwards.
She'll answer. Please answer, Rose.
Again and again I dial, whispering, praying, pleading.
Come on, Rose. Don't do this to me. Please pick up. I know you're there, Rose. You're not dead. Please tell me you're not.
This adds to the series of deaths and disappearances that has plagued Luxbourne in the recent years. The authorities are currently looking at a possible link with the notorious Anselm Butcher case.
TV runs loudly in the background. A deafening static sounds from my phone speakers, but in my ears I can only hear the screams, her pleas, her whispers. Help me. You're not safe. A buzzing sensation. Alright, I think I'm going to do one more day. If this is a long day, I'm going to end it halfway through. New. News broke of Rose Cooper being found dead in her flat the evening before. The authorities classified crime as a homicide, possibly linked to the notorious Anselm Butcher. A mysterious killer who had committed brutal murders over the years and left their bodies with a signature phrase, "Help me." Buzzing sensation jolts me awake. My body still wants me to sleep, to forget what I heard, what I saw last night. But it's there, nudging, prodding at me. Slowly I become aware of how awkward my position is and the aches that accompany sleeping in a curled up position the night before, if I even slept at all. The memories are impossible to forget now that Rose is gone. They say it's easier when you say it out loud. Instead, the words weigh heavier on me each time. She's gone. Gone because of me. Gone because of one letter I was too curious to look at. I should have been more careful. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I should have destroyed it before anyone else got involved. I should have... The notification light on my laptop blinks incessantly, mockingly when I look at it, as if it's calling me back to the sense of normalcy. To all BRC employees, in light of the recent events, there will be an all-staff emergency meeting from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Attendance is a must. Company changes, new hierarchy, and policies will all be discussed during the meeting. Everyone is expected to bring a copy of their own attendance logs and sales reports for the last 6 months to be submitted to your respective managers for review. We're expecting everyone's cooperation. Thank you, Joan Alice Schultz, BRC's HR manager. I check it out, nevertheless, out of habit more than anything. If this were one of those typical days, I'd happily comply and get myself to our office. Today my limbs just feel heavy. On one hand, going will keep me busy, take my mind elsewhere. On the other, the place itself is a stark reminder of what my own fears have cost me. I should just, I should go to work. No, oh shoot, I meant to click go to work. I actually did. Wait, who did I boost? Who did I just boost? Wait a second. I need to see this. Ashton. So these three are even. Zachary's a little low. Marianne's almost level with Rebecca, and Rebecca's full. It didn't change anything. Why did it give me an info? Moping won't get me anywhere. This is just like one of those things, isn't it? You deal with it with a smile, no matter how bad things get, and hope for the best. Although my whole body feels like lead and my limbs are sore. I push myself away from the chair and head for the shower. The letter I dropped on the floor last night flutters open as I pass by, unfolding for no one else but me to see. Every word written on it glares back at me. They sneer, they ridicule, like living beings fully aware of what they've done. With a huff, I pick it up and shove it into my bag, perhaps with more anger and frustration than I'm used to showing. This too I'll deal with. Somehow I'll find a way to make things right. I have to, before it takes more people from me, even if I must do it on my own. Papers rustling, telephones ringing, feet shuffling. Overall, today looks like a typical working day at BRC, except it isn't. The air is thick with tension and unspoken questions. No doubt everyone present has already heard about Rose. Already heard about Rose. Already! If they missed last night's report, they'll likely see it in the morning news, and the papers are on various news sites on the internet. Everywhere is a bitter reminder. In fact, everyone's giving me a wide berth, as though the mere mention of Rose would be enough to trigger something in me. It's appreciated, but it only serves to create a bigger hole in the place Rose has left. After lunch, my boss calls for me. Oh. Yang Yang. That says Yang Yang in the corner there. I like it. That's actually say a month. No, it's Fuzz. I don't have to look up for my work to know what it is about. He's in a strange, pensive mood today, probably out of respect for a dead colleague. Oddly, I'd appreciate it more if he just shouted at me today. Anything's better.
I'm sure you've all heard of what happened to Miss Cooper. She was a valued member of our team, and she will be missed. There's no date for a funeral yet, but those who wish to attend, kindly speak with your respective supervisors. By the way, has anyone heard about our still AWOL staff? None? HR, you know what to do. Santos, a word? In my office?
Oh boy. At the end of it, I've been given an entirety of Rose's workload, including finalizing the rights papers, and I've been promised an ample compensation for my efforts. I think he's expecting me to be happy about it. Instead, I immerse myself in my work. I have to, anyway, if I want to forget. Time flat. Employee of the month. Oof. That's a rough achievement to be getting. Time flies when you do, and by the time I give notice, it's already late. Everyone's gone, leaving me in the company of a radio and a member of our janitorial staff. I don't even know his name. Rose likely does. She remembers people
The
easily.
Luxbourne Police Department continues its search for the following reported missing people.
The radio blares one name after another. Hold on a second. Missing? Aren't they? Still, I have to check. Frantic, I turned back to my desktop. Loud tapping of my fingers against the keys fills the office for the better part of my shift as I look through everything. Background about the place. Its history from the current owners and a list of employees hired under BRC, and I'm right. Of course I am. BRC may have a lot of staff and they may have a lot of agents hired, but I'd remember those names anywhere. After all, they're also part of the crew who worked with us in preparing the mansion for open house. Then the letters. No, that can't be. I hope it's not what I'm thinking.
But Rose is...
Something snaps into place in the fraction of a moment. These people Rose the letter.
I need to... No. If it's like this, they still won't believe me. I have to make sure of it first.
Isabella Santos drowns herself with work the whole day to forget about the devastating news of her mentor's death. However, she ended up stumbling on the mysterious disappearances of her other colleagues. She's just realized something important. Evidence doesn't lie. That's what Ash often says, right? If I have proof, then maybe. I don't want to get my hopes up yet, but there's still a way I can save them. The letter, my phone, the papers, anything will prove useful. I grab all of them and stuff them into my bag. I can't stay here. There's something I need to do. There's something those people should... The noise cut sharply through the roof, stopping my hand short of cramming a pen into my bag.
Hello?
Is that a printer? Someone must have left their printer open again. I may be in a hurry, but if I don't turn it off, another person is likely to have a fit tomorrow over wasted company resources. Most of the time it's Rose who does the nagging, but the clicking on my pen in my hand is a welcome distraction as I search for said object. Each stride at my feet takes also echoes through the empty workplace. I've lost sight of the janitor minutes ago, with me being the only one left. The tapping of my feet against the wooden floor is something I soon learned to appreciate. It doesn't take me long to find it. By the time I turn it off, 5 pages are already strewn on the ground. The paper tray has also been left ajar. Sighing, I pick each of it up to put someplace proper. It's going to be Help Me's. The page that greets me next makes my blood run cold. The chill makes its way up my spine as numbing as the day in the attic. The sheets crinkle under my tense grips. All I can hear is my breathing as it rasps through my gritted teeth. But before I can even gather myself, take the first steps out of here, total darkness suddenly envelops me. Don't die, please. It's the choking lady again. And as if hearing every horrid thought running through my head right now, something snaps. I'm gonna save. As if something snaps, soft creak grating through the thin veil of stillness that has descended in the room. Every muscle, every bone in my body goes rigid at the sound. Familiar, so familiar now, yet my own traitorous curiosity still presses me to take a careful peek over the cubicle's wall. There she is! It's the ring! It's her, standing in the only exit at the office, albeit facing away from me. Oh, I thought she was facing me and it was just terrible because she doesn't even need to turn around for me to know it's the same with shapen face, tattered clothes, and unsightly gait. The same person in the attic. I take a step back, and the pen I'm holding slips from my hand, and her entire head turns. I sort of called it. She was facing the right way. She just wasn't facing the right way. A scream almost escapes my mouth as I duck under the table as quickly as I can. My heart is pounding hard against my chest. I can hear the bone-chilling sounds of her walk, the weird clicking that follows her, and the telltale squelch of something wet as she walks towards me, nearer and nearer. The sounds are slowly getting louder. The only thing keeping the whimper from escaping me is my hand as it covers my mouth. Someone, please save me. Anyone. I close my eyes, muttering a continuous stream of prayers, all while attempting to steady my own breathing. Please, please don't let her near me. I suck. Oh my gosh, I'm dead. I'm an idiot.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our and lead us not into temptation, but to...
When the last lines of my prayer have left me, all that remains is hushed under her footsteps. Ignore those chilling sounds. She makes only silence. Is it safe? Another second passes and nothing comes. I saw, dude. I was planning on losing anyway. If I could have not sucked so much last time, that would have been so much better. Like, it's the exact same thing. Fail it 3 times in a row the first time. Succeed 3 times in a row this time. The seconds, minutes stretch out before me agonizingly. Is she gone? Slowly I open my eyes to take a peek. Don't dare move or make a noise. What's wrong with her foot? Oh, it's broken. I was like, she just has a tentacle. In the face of such terror, I can only beg, let out silent pleas to whoever is out there. Please, please don't let her notice. I want to live. Alright. The sunset's changed. I don't know. Wait, the day's almost over. Hannah. With 30th Taurus, 31 years old, former... She's an heiress now. Oh no, she's an heiress. My apologies. She's an heiress. Masters in Business Administration, major in accounting. Bouillabaisse, I always pronounce that wrong. Dogs, fashion, parties and dancing, the beach. Children, iconic woman, charity and math. I like math. Of the Luxburn upper classes, Hannah's used to living a life of luxury. Absent parents make her crave for attention, though something she gained from her private tutors and nannies instead. She was never enough, however. She studied hard in order to make her parents proud, going into business so that she could work alongside them. The challenge in her otherwise privileged life was certainly a thrill for her, at the very least. She had many suitors, dating different men and women, but it was through work she met Luke. It was love at first sight for her. Upon her parents' death, Luke proposed to her. That was the move that led to the merging of Wright Enterprise and Evans Incorporated and her subsequent retirement. My apologies. Their 7-year marriage is strained, but Hannah tries her best to make it work. How lovely. Oh, I thought I discovered another journal entry too. It's far too easy to get them to pay attention and raptured. They hang on to my every word as I follow my every move. All of it would have been stifling had I not grown used to such stares. Most are respectful, some are hostile, if we're honest. And a few are downright inappropriate. After all, I am...
Hannah Wright!
There's a moment of agitation as a familiar but less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Of course, I have to keep a benevolent smile as I greet him, as I greet any good friend. After all, this man can turn heads being famous in his own right.
Officer Lee!
Yeah,
what a pleasant
the portraits
surprise.
Are
I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
what I could hope for. He's more Luke's friend than mine, really, and I'm quite sure I only invited his wife. Much like I am only friends with the chief inspector because of Luke, Luke is only friends with Rochelle because of me. Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the Lee matriarch. It was an odd sort of friendship where we would have awkward double dates. I don't even recall his first name. It started with an N, I think. I might be wrong. Aside from him being chief inspector of the Luxburn Police with his wife Rochelle, Lee Vance owns a General Electronics company, fridges and freezers.
Oh, I always have time for my favourite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight. I see the husband isn't with ya.
Dude, you need to chill. The way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl. Yeah, I just wish Luke is here to fend off the more unseemly of our peers. You know the ones. Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets, and getting close just because my husband isn't here. And to think they have the gall to do this at my own party. In my own house, if I might add. But like any high society women worth their salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well.
That's what I'd say.
Luke's busy with work, unfortunately.
I guess you look alright.
Rochelle isn't here.
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor. The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with a doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
Make small talk. Rather, I'm forced to do so, as he would not leave my side after finding his place here. I tried to say signed. Why did I try to say signed? I said side. Side came out. Much to my chagrin, I've been extricated from the few who flock in hopes of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than Lee. He's a nice enough person, and I adore his wife, who's obviously the brains behind the two. But there's something unsettling about him. I do not trust him as much as I want to. He regaled to me tale of the Luxburn Police Department, a different affair to the usual gossip I'm privy to, although I loathe to admit it, it is interesting nonetheless. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would have been understandable due to the confidential nature of his work, but oh boy was I wrong.
So, wearing civvies, I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the new tank chasing on foot and screaming about theft. The look on his face was priceless when I parked in the garage.
Oh my. You made him chase you all the way home for a prank. What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee. He's a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. Surprisingly enough, they've been married for a good 20 years, a lifetime if you compare it to my marriage of 7 years with Luke. I, on the other hand, well, Luke is no Lee, and I should be happy about that, I suppose, although my darling did have his moments.
Hey, the wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
No, I don't. But a flat in downtown. I suppose if that's what you like.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife. I wouldn't mind a place away from the city. Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale. Or that something mansion, you know the one with all the ghost stories.
I know what he's talking about. There's really only a few urban legends around here. It's...
The Ermagood Mansion?
Ah, that's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her. Not to mention all the expenses a place like that. It'll be a real fixer-upper. You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course. It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too. Such good taste.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace. She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom. I think I have a business card no, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? McCullough. Marianne, I believe, yes. But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself.
Do her fingers look exceedingly short to anyone? Am I hallucinating? But it looks like her fingers are like this long. Like, that's not normal fingers. Nobody folds their fingers like this.
This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
Sure, a 3-story penthouse might not fit the definition of small for some people. Okay, maybe a lot of people, but it isn't big enough to have grand parties in. As it is, I only invited about 30 people to this one, and it already feels... Dude, you're lucky if you can get me to invite more than 10 people to a party. Lucky. Like, 10 is lucky for me. I'm like, yeah, no, I'll take, like, my close family, like 2 friends. That's fine. I certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I could get anywhere as well. All Luke's words and not mine. Besides, I've been looking for a good anniversary gift. Luke might want this one. Where is he anyway? Alright. I'm gonna end it there. Nice hair, dude. Looked like red-headed Harry Potter. Harry Potter if Harry was a Weasley. Hannah Wright threw a party in their penthouse at the Cache. The city's most powerful were seen, including Chief Inspector Harvey Lee of the Luxburn Police Department. From him, the socialite heard of the Ermengarde Mansion's upcoming open house and the interior designer, Marianne McCullough. Marianne McCullough. Alright, I'm gonna save it there. Isabel. I'm saving over Isabel. Alright, so that is going to be it for this episode of The Letter, ladies and gentlemen. I will be streaming later. I'm not sure how much later, but I will be streaming the Overwatch update with the competitive Capture the Flag. I probably will not be playing competitive. I'll probably just be doing some regular. But the new sudden death mode should be interesting. But yeah, I will hopefully be streaming this again next week. I might actually stream this twice next week because I'm really excited about it, but I could also be streaming the Valley because I'm dying to stream Valley. But either way, that's going to be it for this episode. Look for videos on YouTube Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I may stream at least once this weekend. But either way, thank you ladies and gentlemen so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Catch you on the flip side.